I
Here's
don't
a
know.
couple things I'll share with you that I think are still out there, which makes this still a debacle for them. One, there's no transparency about how much money actually was donated on
Yeah.
those pages, especially the tipping, which is what the money they keep, which was obnoxious at 16%,
We didn't talk about that at all. The default tip was what, 15, 16%? Is that what it was?
which is, I mean, obscene. And that money goes to them, right? They're the platform. That's money to defray costs for the platform. A lot of the platforms do it, which is fine. And it's upfront and it's there. But if a person is new and doesn't realize, they simply just pay it and they don't realize. I recently was involved in a fundraiser, and a friend who donated to that project, like, texted me after kicking themselves for having paid the tip for it. So, it's there. It has some controversy to it. People don't like it. People do like it, whatever. So there's no transparency about how much money and how many organizations made any money from that endeavor as it was. That was one. Two, which was really something I only noticed this morning, but I thought about it yesterday, and I remembered it from other controversies, was where they posted about this was on GoFundMe Pro.
Mhm.
GoFundMe Pro is their nonprofit subsidiary, let's call it, right? GoFundMe Pro on LinkedIn has about, I don't know, 3,000 plus followers. GoFundMe is over 150,000 followers. So where they posted their apologies was on a much smaller account where only the insiders of the field might actually see it, right? And where people posted their comments and who they tagged was not GoFundMe Pro, it was GoFundMe. And so to me, that still stinks, because that means they're still trying to be uber strategic and careful about apologizing, but not apologizing in block capital letters, apologizing in small little letters and saying that we apologized, and then they move on. The only reason I know anything like with have thought about this was because during the course of all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East and people are posting retractions, it's always interesting to see where they post their retractions on stories, that if at all, or their apologies. They'll bury it on the 16th page of the newspaper, kind of a thing, right? So this was interesting to me, which basically says to me, they're sort of owning it, but not completely owning, which goes back to your point. And then the biggest thing is they didn't shut it down, right? It's like, it's still there, and eventually it'll shut itself down if assuming anybody pays attention to it. But they didn't finish. They didn't like say, this was a bad idea. We're sorry. We're going to cut a check to all the organizations for the amounts of money that were raised through our platform. They have the money, they can handle it, right? And we're shutting down the program. They didn't do that. They said basically, you can come and claim your page. If you don't claim your page after 30 days, right, it'll be de-indexed. Congratulations. But it's like half a job. Half a job
Yeah.
on this is no job. And so the language, they said they're very sorry, which, by the way, you can write that better. I mean, very is not a word you want to use. Come on, you know, goodness gracious. Okay. But so to me, the apology, even though they finally got the and they got what they wanted, which was the National Council of Nonprofits accepting their apology, as if that means anything.